That's become very emotive. My question, follow-on question really was, just as you were saying that there may have been a window of opportunity for Japan to grow by being open,
Yeah.
could the boot be on the other foot with the US perhaps bringing up the barricades as well over a 10, 15-year period?
Well, I would say be careful to Americans. I would say closed economies stagnate. You're not, when you protect the U.S. steel industry, who inevitably are you helping?
Well,
And
exactly.
and good political leadership, good economic stewardship means you're helping these businesses adjust. You're not locking them into a 2017 model. And we know, given technology changes, societal changes, that there's got to be an evolution in every industry. So, U.S. auto industry uses about half the amount of steel per car today that they did 20 years ago, right? It's not China, it's not Japan, it's technology, it's material sciences,
Yep.
it's composite plastics and so forth that are now better to use in a car. So that trend could keep going. And what about this trend toward electric vehicles? It's only something like 1% of vehicles now, but it will be 5 or 10%, meaning if your job is to make a carburetor or to make spark plugs, demand's going to drop. So what is your future? How much higher wage can you command in that kind of environment? So these companies need to start thinking about a post-combustion economy and how they're going to participate in it.
Now, do you think, because you see that the trade war, the trade and the tariffs that are going to affect, I think, America a lot more than it will China, because with the new Belt and Road Initiative, China can look to fulfill some of its deficits here and in that whole pipeline of production and goods and things like that. I mean, how do you foresee? I know you said it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
But and we talked about isolationism on the part of America, and it seems that yes, I mean China might take a bit of a hit, but it can look toward these other areas.
Well, Michelle, I think both parties can. I don't know whether you call this good news or bad news, but both economies are performing pretty well.
Yeah.
And the trade in the scheme of GDP is smallish, and then you're putting a percentage tax on top of that. So you're injecting cost, and you're not helping the economies, but it's modest. I think Congressional Budget Office said these tariffs will decrease GDP growth by 1/10%. So that's not good news. But when you're hitting 3% growth, anyhow, last quarter I think it was above 3. It was 4% last quarter. That's a tolerable. And China's, I think, in a strong position as well, 5.5% growth. So if it punishes them, they'll still be around.
Yeah.